This is Spotlight Omaha. Spotlight Omaha is a local podcast that highlights local businesses and influential movers and shakers in the Omaha business community. Spotlight Omaha is brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Now, from the Pyramid Contractor Studios, the host of Spotlight Omaha, Jimmy Allen.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spotlight Omaha podcast. I am not Jimmy Allen. I'm Angela Cheney. I will be filling in for Jimmy Allen today and for next week while he is in New York City. And I'd love to welcome our guest, Jason Ludwick, to our podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
Being here. Absolutely. And the Spotlight Omaha podcast, we take you around the city and introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making an impact on our community. We're brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing, which is my company. Pixel Fire Marketing helps you with your search engine optimization, website, Google search, anything that you need to get found and to get your brand solidified. So if you need any help with that, let us know. And we are here today in the Pyramid Contracting Studio, located in Pixel Fire Marketing. And my guest today, as I said before, is Jason Ludwick with ALFFCo.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Let's start personal.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your background and your family.
Yeah. So born and raised Omaha, Nebraska, and worked for a variety of different companies throughout the U.S. In my professional career. I've gone a lot of different industries, from the food industry to different types of technology as well. So, and always in sales. So, just built a sales career and, started as a rep and then became a manager and a director and so on and so forth. And really specialized in kind of building teams out from scratch, and helping them tick and understanding each industry that I was in and just really helping, increase revenue at these companies that I've been at. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
And what led you to ALFFCo?
So I was kind of on a search, and so were they, to kind of find a different position, and they were in need of somebody to build out a sales team. So they didn't have a sales team. They had just kind of organically grown the years that they've been around. So it was kind of kismet, right? When I started talking, and it was a great opportunity for me and a great opportunity for them. So I've been there for about a year now.
A year? You're new.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So, and, we've done some incredible things so far in the year that we've been there, and we've hired some really great people as well. So, and the company is just continuing to grow and grow and grow. They have a really good foundation, so that really helps.
Absolutely.
Great reputation, and then, just really adding the firepower of a sales team to kind of go out there and, spread the word about them and really build those relationships in the community has really helped.
Absolutely. And the company's been in business since 1996, correct?
Yeah.
So just give me a brief overview of what all your company does.
Yeah. So, it falls under the facility maintenance umbrella.
Okay.
And some people are like kind of scratch their head, like, what is that, right? So when you think about all these commercial businesses that are out there that have, whether they have multiple properties or just really big properties, so anything internal or external that needs to be taken care of, and maintenance or serviced, right? So when you think about landscaping, snow removal, parking lot repairs, like the exterior of the building itself, the roof, and then anything interior.
Okay.
So when you think about just HVAC, plumbing, all those things, those are the major things, but, painting, drywall, remodeling. So what we do is we take care of that full facility for you.
Okay.
It's a large undertaking, right? Especially when you think about big box retail stores and things like that, that have the amount of traffic that they have, these buildings get used and abused, and, and things break. And so we try to maintain the integrity of that property constantly, to make sure that like the guest experience and the employee experience is great every day when they come to work, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to walk into a retail store and, have
a flood.
Yeah, right?
Something's falling from the ceiling.
Yeah, so we're kind of like the secret, that's working in the background, making sure that like it's just looking great and functioning normal. Like nobody thinks about this last snowstorm that we had, like who cleans all those parking lots, right? When you go to the grocery store and, you can still put your cart in a cart corral, like who moved all that snow, right? So, and that's us. Like we're there, in the middle of the night, all night long, making sure that like things are open in the morning.
So what percentage of your business is in Omaha?
You know, we are a nationwide provider, so there's
Okay.
there's a good amount. Of course, we started in Iowa and Nebraska,
Okay.
and so our headquarters is here in Omaha,
Wonderful.
and so we work with a variety of different regional chains and local businesses as well. But a majority of our business is spread out nationwide.
Okay. And speaking of your headquarters here in Omaha,
Yeah.
I hear there is a golfing green.
Yes.
Okay, tell
Yeah.
me more about that. That's fun.
Yeah, so we do a lot of turf for different companies. Especially you'll see in warmer climates, they do a lot of turf conversions. So because of watering purposes and things like that,
Yeah.
just looks really good as well. And we'll do different fields, soccer fields, and things like that. So when they designed the building, our CEO Austin Alf, who's his name, put that out there, and it's really been really cool. Like I will see employees go out there and use it.
Mhm.
And when I first started, I think it was like around College World Series time here in Omaha.
Yeah.
CEO just grabbed everybody and we all went outside, and he had prizes like, tickets and stuff like that. It's like, closest putt, first one to make hole in one, things like that. So they use it in that sense as well.
Okay.
But like in the summer, you'll like walk by and somebody will just be out there kind of putting along, taking a break or whatever. It's kind of a cool little feature.
Absolutely. Do you guys have events, where you bring outside people into your company and
Yeah.
have happy hours or
Mhm.
anything like that? Tell me a little bit more.
So we do a variety of different things for different clients, and we do some kind of learning engagement stuff too for, new clients and existing clients.
Mhm.
Last year was the grand opening of our headquarters. We had moved to that building and built it out. So we had a big, of course, event there. But we have a variety of different things throughout the year to kind of enhance our relationships, but also just build new relationships, employee give back, and things like that as well. We did a clothing drive for Goodwill as well this
Nice.
year. So we had one of their trucks out there all day, and
Mhm.
we sponsored a food truck, to drive people in. If you donated, you
fun.
could get free lunch and stuff like that on us. So, we like to be part of the community for sure.
Wonderful. So, as the salesperson,
Yeah.
what do you walk me through a typical day in your life? What do you do?
Well, my day is all over the place.
Okay.
For me, my day starts pretty early. I'm usually in the office by 7:15.
Mhm.
I call that my quiet time.
Yes.
That's when I take my time to kind of review everything, what happened the night before, that last night, and kind of get my bearings and kind of make sure that I'm set up for the day. So I have team members throughout the United States in different time zones. So kind of setting up my day to connect with them, see what they need, make sure that they have coverage on meetings and things like that they might need help with, because we're dealing with enterprise level customers. So on a lot of these calls, you're going to need more support from operations standpoint, things like that, depending on what type of meeting it is. Make sure that coordination is happening. I'm going to look at reporting and see kind of like open work that we have, make sure that things are moving along, answer any questions, dig into the data a little bit. And then a portion of my day is just kind of, looking at the strategy, making sure everything's moving, flowing the way that we need it to. I do kind of put a portion of my day to make sure that like I'm focusing on like what the team needs to work on. So coaching, whether I'm building out some training or I'm working one-on-one with someone. And then just, again, kind of rounding out the day, working externally within the company with other departments, making sure that like they're getting the things that they need, building out things. Of course, since being there only a year, we're still building a lot,
Sure.
whether it's on the technology side or just process side. So my day is kind of split up into different things. So kind of keeps the days interesting.
Yeah.
And sometimes I jump on a plane and go meet with one of my team members and work side by side or go to see some clients and stuff like that. So
how do you generate new business? What does that look like?
what's my process?
Yeah.
So I am really big on relationships and the company as well, and that's where I really love the alignment of the role that I took with ALFFCo. As this, just like in this conversation, it's real human, right? And so our approach is really understanding the needs of our customers, but also understanding our customer, who they are as a person.
Yeah.
The more that you get to know that person, and understand, what makes them tick, what's important to them, not just on the field, which I call, the work, but off the field, like as a human, right? And I always think that those connections really matter, because not just today in the role that they're in, but tomorrow in the next role and the next role, because we all want to grow as humans and grow. So we take that approach in building that relationship. And to me, we have this saying that, like, um, internally, right? We focus on the relationships, and because what'll happen there is, like, those relationships will turn into partnerships and open up opportunities for all of us, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really important to us to kind of take that approach. I'm not going to sell you and you need this and you need that. Like, I really want to know what you need and what we can help you with. And of course, we can do it all, but, like, I'm not going to force that down your throat. I'm going to find out what you need and how we can really be a partner for you, because all those other things will come. Later on, you're going to call me and say, I need a plumber, or I need a painter, or I need this. And we'll be like, yeah, we can help you with that. No problem.
Absolutely. So I'm curious. You say you work with a lot of, like, big box stores and things like that. What is your smallest customer or client? Customer,
We
client.
have clients that are very small that just
Okay.
do a few things with us.
Okay.
Um, I think every customer is important, and we treat every single work order that we receive from them, as the smallest customer to the biggest customer. We treat them all the same.
Yeah.
Because to them, it doesn't matter. That's their most important thing, right? If one person has one store and they have a plumbing problem, that's really important to that one
Yes.
store. It's important to their customers. That's their livelihood. They have 5,000 stores. It's equally as important. So as far as names, I don't typically share the names of the clients that we work with.
No, absolutely not. I was thinking more like number of employees,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a couple places that we, work with that have like 20 employees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So pretty much you can handle from the smallest to the largest.
Yeah, and we work with the largest, retailers and C-stores and fast food chains, to manufacturing facilities, to, you name it. We can handle it.
Wonderful. So we talked to you. You mentioned, we're all humans here.
Yeah.
So let's take a step around the whole work life.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit more about your family and, things you like to do when you're not at work.
Yeah. So I'm married. I've been married for 15 years now. And to an amazing human who's a musician and who's, in her master's program right now to be a therapist.
Amazing.
So I get to learn a lot about myself too.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have 3 great kids. My son, who's 14, who's an amazing musician and just an incredibly awesome, resilient kid. And then my 2 daughters, who are just, again, so unique and fierce, and just, it's incredible to watch them grow and their personalities come alive. All my kids are artistic in different ways. Both my wife and I are musicians. That's how we met. Our bandmates were married. We were both going through divorces, and we met. So continue to still be a musician in my adult life. Not the same as it was when I was a youth, right?
Yes.
My dreams of being a musician are gone. Now I just do it for fun. And then I play ice hockey. So
Oh, wonderful.
yeah,
I love
so
hockey.
yeah, so it keeps me, it helps with the stress and everything
Yes.
else of life,
Oh,
but
yeah.
also
You
keeps
gotta
me
check some people into the boards.
Right.
And
Well,
maybe not so
yeah,
much.
my body doesn't rebound like it used
Yeah.
to. So, so yeah, that keeps me physical, and of course, my number one thing in life is to be a good dad, right? And, like, I say that, to people. They're like, "What's your number one priority?" And it's like, to be a great dad,
Yeah.
because, like, you're helping humans from the day one to become great people, right? And it's kind of how I look at managing and helping people. Like, you're mentoring people, right? You're helping them become the best version of themselves, and so that's my number one thing. And I kind of take that through life. It's like, super important, because I want them to grow up to be great humans, and of course I need a job to support them and give them the things that they need.
Yes.
But, like, I want them to go out in the world and treat other people and create better humans, and and so forth. So yeah,
That's
that's a little about
wonderful.
me.
So you mentioned that you are in a band.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I play with 2 other gentlemen that have been in bands since growing up. I grew up in the Omaha punk rock scene.
Okay.
I played indie rock, and I worked at a club here that was all ages when I was in my 20s, and went there when I was in high school. And then, just carried that kind of all through my life. And so I play guitar. My best friend, who I've been friends with since 7th grade, builds guitars.
Oh,
He works for
wow.
Fender, and he is a research and development. So he builds all the new, cool, latest and greatest things, and, builds guitars for famous artists, everybody that you could think of. And so, I always have a foot in that world, and it's just an incredible thing to, be a part of. It's the creativity and everything else that you get to dive into, and, being left-handed and a musician, and, like, my creative brain is very always on.
Yes.
And, I'm also dyslexic.
Okay.
And I think that plays a lot into the creative brain as well.
Yeah.
Like, there are challenges with dyslexia, right? Of course, I'm 45 years old now, so they're a little bit different than when I was in grade school. But I think it's given me the advantage to find challenges and overcome them in different ways. So I'm really grateful for that. And I think, when I always find a challenge, I find creative ways to come over it. And I think that's what's created me professional success in my life, is I'm able to, do things that maybe others won't or weren't able to. And, I think I do that in my personal life as well.
So your wife's a musician, you're a musician, your son's a musician. I see you guys like jamming out like the Partridge Family
Do
at
you
home.
know
Does that
how much I
happen?
wish that would happen?
Does it happen?
I've played, my son's a drummer, and we have a drum kit in our house, and we have a practice space in our basement. And like, it's a few times that he's played with me.
Okay.
And like, I probably can count it on one hand. But he's like, no, won't do it.
14, tough age.
Yeah. And my wife and I, we have played for some friends' weddings together before, but we have such different creative styles.
Okay.
That it doesn't really blend well.
Doesn't mesh.
Yeah, we've tried. I think if we could both chill out, maybe it would, but I've come to terms with like, yeah, we're going to both just do our own thing. It's going to be fine. Because we've, it comes together in the end, but it is a mess getting there.
Yeah.
Like, I will tell you that. So
Yep. That can be tough. I mean, having two spouses who are both into the same thing, there's a lot of elements.
Yeah.
that
Lots of
go
big
into
egos.
that. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Do you think your son will pursue music as a career?
Yes. Well, I hope so. I hope he hangs on to it forever. He also wants to be a pilot.
Wow.
And he's
okay.
very focused on being a pilot.
Okay.
Like, he's flown, he has a simulator, he has, you name it. He's a really, really smart kid. But he's also just extremely talented at drums. Like, he's in marching band, he's in jazz band, he takes drum lessons. He used to be in a rock band, and that kind of dissolved because, they do. And so, it's constant tapping around our house and practice pads and everything else. And it's really interesting because, I get to see a lot of musicians, and see him how good he is at his
Yeah.
what is. It's like, is really impressive. And I hope he hangs on to that. And like, I hope so. I'm crossing my fingers.
Drumming pilot. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. It's been great getting to know you today. Are there any final thoughts that you would like to share with our audience?
No, as far as professionally goes, like, I think there's a lot of really amazing companies here in Omaha, and it's really great to be part of that community. We're a father and son owned company, and their name is what I wear every day. And so the big thing is like, we have to uphold this name. And I love meeting other companies and other businesses and learning how they do it as well. And especially here in Omaha, like, the more that we can keep in the Midwest, there's some really amazing companies here, and people love that Midwestern values and the mentality that Midwestern companies have, I think is really what makes them successful. With hard work, determination, and honesty.
Yeah.
And, I think that, if we can continue as a Midwestern companies like that and keep doing that, like, I think more people are going to be talking about the Midwestern companies as time goes on. So appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to me and learn a little bit. And I'm looking forward to learning about everybody else as well.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you, Jason,
Yeah.
for coming on the Spotlight Omaha podcast. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I will be the host for the next week. So hopefully you will tune in and meet some of our great guests for next week. Again, thank you, Jason Ludwick with ALFFCo. And we'll see you next week.